Hi Virgo, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of February. We ended 2020 on a much different note than we began it. At the beginning of 2020, we saw that unforgettable Saturn-Pluto conjunction that occurred at 22 degrees of Capricorn in your house of creativity and joy and love, and structuring how you can be more creative or find connection to your heart chakra in a very difficult time, and finding joy in little things as we dealt with much loss and transformation. At the end of 2020, both Saturn and Jupiter exited the sign of Capricorn and entered the fixed air sign of Aquarius, which is centered on community and connection and the intellect and chaos and upheaval. And they began a new 20-year vision in your house of work and habits, and structuring how you can manifest and expand through your routine to get what you want to achieve, whatever that might be. And in January, Mercury stations retrograde at 26 degrees and 29 minutes of Aquarius, and gives you a preview of what the next couple of years is be like, because it's going to transit almost the entire sign of Aquarius minus a few 3 degrees basically, and that gets us to the middle of February of 2023. So basically almost the entire transit. So pay attention what comes up in your meditations and in your spiritual practice of what you want to structure this next couple of years. On the 1st of February, Venus enters the sign of Aquarius, and it transits in your house of work and routine until February 25th. This is an excellent time for finding beauty in your routine. Maybe you meet people through work, romantically, professionally, but adding beauty to your everyday habits. On that date, Sun is going to square Mars in the sky, and that can be challenging. Mars is transiting in the sign of Taurus in your house of belief systems and learning and promotion and publicity. And it'll be transiting there until March 3rd. So a big focus is taking workshops, promoting yourself, networking through social media and publicizing yourself. Maybe you're teaching a class, taking a class, whatever it may be. A lot of ninth house and manifesting. That's a good use of Mars transiting in the ninth house. On the 6th of February, Venus meets up with Saturn, and that can be challenging around relationships, but it can be excellent for tending to detail and creative projects like only a Virgo can do. So more in partnering on projects with yourself. Later that day, Venus sextiles Chiron, the wounded healer, and Chiron is transiting in Aries in your house of death and regeneration and transformation. So that can be helpful around healing work, but it also can underscore the wounds that are there around partnerships. And later that day, Venus squares Uranus in the sky, which can be very unpredictable. People can come into your life unpredictably, they can exit your life unpredictably, and I think it's going to be erratic energy, so lay low in terms of relationships on that day. On the 9th of February, Saturn forms a helpful sextile to Chiron, the wounded healer, and that's excellent through doing releasing work, healing work, anything you can do to center yourself and do transformative and purging type work for you, whether it's through getting rid of paperwork or doing manifesting, saging, whatever that might be. On the 11th of February, we have a magical new moon that occurs at 2:06 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it occurs at 23 degrees and 17 minutes of Aquarius. This is an excellent new moon for manifesting and setting intentions of what you want to innovate in your work and in your habits in the next couple of years, because the sky's the limit with Aquarius. And on that date at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, both Venus and Jupiter, which are the two benefics of the zodiac, meet up and bring celebratory and loving and romantic energy to the date. And Saturn and Jupiter are still conjunct, structuring the vision through your routine. Venus is conjunct Mercury and Jupiter, bringing a lot of communication and manifesting energy. And Mercury is conjunct the new moon, bringing a lot of ideas and possibilities. Really good energy to manifest. On the 12th of February or the 13th, depending on where you live, let's see, Venus meets up with Mercury, which is a very compassionate and creative and kind energy. And that takes place at 11:48 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on February 12th and at 2:48 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 13th. Excellent for creative projects and for partnering with others. On the 14th of February, on Valentine's Day, Mercury meets up with Jupiter, and that's a really auspicious energy, very manifesting, very optimistic, so good energy for that date. On the 17th of February, we have more challenging energy because Saturn forms one of 3 squares to Uranus in the sky at 7 degrees of the fixed signs. Saturn is going to be transiting at 7 degrees of Aquarius, squaring Uranus at 7 degrees of Taurus. Saturn's in your house of work and habits. Uranus is transiting in your house of belief systems. And it could be just chaos and just what you're trying to get done with work. And obviously on the collective level, that's going to be difficult as well. The last time those 2 planets squared one another was in June of 1999 through May of 2000. So that hasn't happened for a while. And those are both the rulers of Aquarius. Saturn is the ancient ruler and Uranus is the modern ruler. Saturn is limitations, Uranus is freedom, so they don't mesh well. So lay low, okay? On the 18th of February, the sun enters Pisces and enters your house of relationships, where it'll transit until March 20th of this year. And that's excellent for partnering with others. And, you know, the sun shines wherever it's transiting. On the 20th of February, Mercury stations direct, and that's the ruler of your sun sign. And it stations direct at 11 degrees and 1 minute of Aquarius in your house of work and routine, and it helps us to move forward. On February 25th, Venus enters the sign of Pisces, where it's exalted and beautiful energy, very creative and compassionate, and it'll transit for a few weeks in your house of relationships and partnerships, as is the excellent for relationships, for romance. If you're in a partnership, it's beautiful energy. If you're single, it's excellent, and it's great for all type of partnering, professionally, with friends, romantically, you name it. On the 26th of February, if I get my dates right, Jupiter trines the North Node of Destiny. And the North Node is transiting in your house of career, where it'll be until January of 2022. Excellent for professional partnerships, for fated opportunities and connections coming into your life. On the 27th of February, we have a full moon that takes place at 3:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 8 degrees and 57 minutes of your sign of Virgo. And that brings a completion and occurs in your first house of self. That could be, you know, tumultuous around relationships. It could bring fruition to projects you've been working on. It sets off where the lunar eclipse occurred on November 30th at 8 degrees and 38 minutes of Gemini in your house of career. So perhaps there's a completion on projects you've been working on. I think it's going to be an emotional full moon because it's only a degree off from the world axis. So we're all going to be feeling it. But there's a lot of nice energy to work with in February as we're embracing this whole new era of change. Aquarius is fixed change. I wish you a lot of luck, and thank you very much, Virgo. Take care.